Welcome back, everybody. He's going to go.
He's got a volley!
We're live.
Mm-hmm.
And today we're talking about Season 6 of TNG. Ranking the episodes. Based on your recommendations.
What we're doing here.
Well, it's kind of amazing that we're, doing years of their work in days. Oops.
Wow.
Oops.
Yeah.
That's okay. You get into a whole new way of appreciating it, right? Because you get to really think and be focused. It's interesting. I feel like I'm learning stuff. Oh, I hope you are too.
Yeah.
Excellent. Then confidence. Welcome back.
Yeah, welcome back, guys. So we already got a few super chats in, which is fantastic. So thank you, guys. But anyone else want to throw in any episodes that they want us to look at? By all means, feel free.
Because they will be missed.
To hear from you
if you don't put them in. We're very precise on that.
Yes.
That's okay.
Yes. And you guys know the routine.
Yeah. I've already pre-shared almost. I'm going to press those buttons and get back to you in like 20 seconds.
Okay. Hit like. Make sure you're subscribed. Click the notification bell icon to all. Check out the join button down below. Join us on YouTube here. Head on over to Patreon/Trekyards and join us over there. And click all.
And there you go. Now you shared.
To the Teespring and the TeePublic store. I summed up mine really quickly.
Yes. Excellent. I lined up everything up already.
Excellent.
Yes, here we go. Season 6. We had such a triumph of scores on Tuesday with a lot of highs. I'm gonna go back and look. It'll be interesting. Like maybe we should a live at the end of all this, like have all the charts at the same time and kind of, see where it all went.
I mean, if you want to do that,
I don't know.
Cool. Find another co-host because I don't know if I want to do it. Talk about it with somebody else. Get another opinion. God damn it.
And it's a poll.
This one.
It's a poll as well. What do you think of Relics? To the Scotty one. Amazing, classic, love it. Decent, okay, could be better. Or not great, didn't like it, sorry. So I always feel like my opinion of this is slightly, I like it more than some people. So I'm seeing if you guys like it as much as I like it, that you like it, that maybe it's like it too much.
I hear what you're saying.
Yes. Versus unification, like, this is not great.
Yeah. All right.
Where we go?
Let's get into it. Classic for real throws in $15.
Oh.
$5 for Tapestry. $5 to bump it up, and another $5 to bump it up to S tier. If the 5 out of the 10 isn't necessary to bump it up to S tier, I just want to pick 2 episodes chat picks, but not obvious ones like Relics.
I like it.
Cool.
I dig it. Starting strong, eh?
Yeah.
Starting strong, which is absolutely fine. It's the power of you guys' choice.
Tapestry. Yes. Indeed. Pickard, but not as a captain. Oh, no. Q's messing with him again. Is he dead? No, this is not the afterlife. I don't think. What does he say? I don't think that whatever would be that cruel as to have you be part of my afterlife. Anyway, yeah. This is a fantastic episode, honestly. One I really enjoy, and it's cool to see the alternate of what could be, and it kind of makes you reevaluate your own life. Like, what choices could I have made, and how would that have affected my life? Because he starts off getting blasted in the chest by something which affects his pacemaker.
Off screen, yes.
Yeah, we see Q in a big white void, and then we get literally him reliving his academy days in the Monster Maroon, which is cool. It does have a little white shirt underneath, which is better than no shirt, I gotta say. So that's a good thing. And yeah, it's the incident that led up to him getting stabbed through the heart, and he has a little bit of a relationship with the girl, which he never pursued the first time.
It was too arrogant and foolhardy, and now he's 70, so not quite as foolhardy anymore.
Yeah. And he's like a lieutenant commander in Blue when he comes back, and it's getting his evaluation from Riker, Indiana, and it's like, well,
you're right.
You're not really outstanding in any kind of way. You're kind of right where you need to be.
And we don't not like you.
And then he talks to Q again and says, I want this fixed. I'm going to go back and make the right choice and get stabbed through the heart. Because that's fun. Yeah, it's an interesting look at the what ifs, what could have been. And it's really cool to see the monster maroons and stuff. So this is a really fun episode. Really good Q episode as well. Like, I love the way that Q's kind of testing him. Yeah, it's a fun episode.
Well, it's what we always say, right? It's using all of the canon. You have a god creature.
Yep.
And it's not time travel, it's alternate play time travel, which makes it even funner because you can mess up with stuff. You get Monster Maroon, so you get that double logic canon visualness, and then you get the introduction of who he was in the past. You learn something. You get really flirty stuff with Picard, with Q. It's kind of funny. It's just extra. He's actually doing a favor, right? So the tone is very different. He's not playing. He's not hurting. He's actually helping. So and you know that going in. You get really. I mean, this is pretty much the Lost Era. I mean, this is like right at the edge.
The end of it, yeah.
Because he's in his 20s, and remember, he's like 60, 70 in TNG. So it's right at the end. So you get to see kind of a little bit of what it was like. The uniform being around for like 100 years. Obviously, the famous anecdote of the girl being like 17 and Picard's like 50, and it's like, well, yeah, but she's playing older, he's playing much, much younger. It's fine. And it's a great, you do not expect it's like 3 twists, right? Is it real? Is it not real? Monster Maroon, yes, no. Alternate path, yes, no. And then really alternate path. And it's kind of sad and pathetic, but not in a mean way, just in a, very much like Star Trek V, your pain makes you who you are. And those are special, are formed by who they are and what they did. And to have such a life-altering event of literally having your heart stabbed in a stupid thing, having to have a robot heart, which is probably not going to be good for the rest of your life, like, as in, it's a very, very clever story that is entirely captured using Trek world. Had it been him on the TNG, like, had he flashback to season 1, it would have been less fun, or Stargaze less fun, but going where he did, what he did, going blue, all the layers are like, let's go for the cleverest and funnest. And then the little bit of, he chooses at the end, and then the payoff that, he did actually laugh the first time, and he never knew why he laughed. He thought it was in shock, and he laughed because of a potential paradox, potential not. It's still ambiguous. It's very clever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yes, thank you, Captain Corky. That's what he said. You are not God. The universe is not that poorly designed. Yes.
well. Yeah, I mean, this is very much like, it goes beyond Star Trek, and yet it uses Star Trek so beautifully that it's kind of a rare piece.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's one of my favorite episodes this season for sure. It's definitely up there in the top probably 5 of this season, I would think. It's a very memorable episode, and it's very enjoyable to watch as well. It's got a lot of rewatchability. Ranking it though, based on this season, that's where we have the conundrum now, don't we?
Nope. No conundrum. Easy S, Stuart.
Okay.
Either which way, this thing is too damn clever not to be, right? It works on many levels. And not just that, but you learn about him. Like, cause and effect is fun, but you don't learn much. This gets everything.
Fair enough.
Yes. So we have to fight on that, didn't you? No. It's all good.
I was thinking S, but I didn't want to say it because I didn't think you were going to say S.
It's too... Yeah, this would also...
Regardless, it was going to be S because of his super chat, so...
Sorry. B. There we go. No, it's fantastic.
All right, now you guys get to pick 2 episodes because he put in $15. So.
Oh yeah, first 2 in the.
I mean, people have been naming stuff, but.
Great, fine too.
We'll go from here on, though. Over whatever the next one is in the regular chat, we will talk about it real quick. Yes, I know. Hit like again. 23 people here and only 11 likes, guys. Come on, get going.
That's not right. I can't be canon.
All right, Dan Ben says Timescape.
Ooh, Timescape.
Which one is that?
Literally right at the end of the season. That is, of course, the Runabout episode. The one we actually get a Runabout in TNG.
Oh, yes. Fantastic episode.
It's tricky because the graphics to summarize this are so varied. Really, it's the smiley face. But you can forgive him for not remembering the smiley face episode. Yeah, that being the visual. But really, it's the, the Derridexian, Enterprise D, and Blowy Uppy, and...
Yes.
Pretty great.
It is. Yeah. Again, one of my favorites. Absolutely an amazing story. Getting to see the rear of a Runabout's fantastic. And just this whole thing of the Enterprise and the Derridex locked in this position, and then the explosion, and then it gets reversed, and there's some crazy shit going on. Romulans in sickbay as well, if I recall correctly, shooting Beverly.
She was gonna die. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a lot to this one, and it mixes a lot of really good Star Trek, well, not tropes, but like Star Trek nuance for me. You get a lot of Romulan stuff, obviously. The time pause stuff is fantastic, and really intriguing mystery. Really good visual effects as well when he reaches his hand into the bowl and his hand gets all like... So there's a lot going on here, and Troy plays a pretty big role in this. She's actually in uniform. She's actually like doing things, which is great.
Always nice.
One of my favorite quotes from TNG is in this episode. He just kept talking in one long, incredibly unbroken sentence, moving from topic to topic so that no one could interrupt, which was really quite hypnotic. Yeah.
Yeah. I hear that relatively regularly.
It's a well-written episode. There's a lot of... it's dense as well, I find.
Yeah, that's a good word.
Yeah, so I enjoy this one. I know exactly where I'm putting this one personally.
Yeah, it's so weird because it is very much setting the stage for something unique. Runabouts, main crew doing side thing. I mean, is it? Given we looked at all these seasons, is this not the only time freeze episode? I felt like it might be, but it's such an iconic format of television to have some sort of pause and whatever. But yeah, having the Romulans be friends at the end is a great twist. Have the alien be a Romulan is a nice twist. Who then suddenly moves. That's really satisfying. I remember they said the reason behind the scenes was that they had to invent the back of the Runabout because they thought it'd be too boring to have them only in the same set for like 22 minutes, which is very fair. And it's not boring because the scene just walk back and forth just to change scenery. But something, as I was from the episode, something as simple as we can't use the Jeffries tubes because someone in the Jeffries tubes because nothing can move properly because it's very clever. And it's amazing if you get you hire some extras who can be still, right? Because you have to some people are just better at it. It's like who you can hire. So effective, so effective, and it's a great mystery as well.
Yes.
And real danger because as soon as the thing goes away, you're probably doomed.
Yeah, and the Enterprise, we see it explode. We see Beverly getting shot. Like there's a lot of stakes.
It's proper hard sci-fi as well.
Yeah.
What? Why are you laughing?
I'm not. You're like. I don't know what you're doing, but.
I'm scrolling. It's like, I enjoy it a lot. Yeah. But is it too pandering to Trekyards? To be as high? Is that why it's so? The only thing I'll say negative is the pace, as we often say. It goes straight to a 6 and stays at a 6 until the end because nothing's moving, right? But it's a really intense 6, even though it's not. There's no real pace shifts really. Well, but it's an intense, theoretical paused 6.
Yeah, but I mean, that's what I look for in a Star Trek episode. And yeah, it could be pandering to us a little bit because this is where we learn about the quantum singularity that powers the Romulan, the Derridex.
Runabout interiors, Romulan interiors.
Yeah.
I just feel like, okay, go for the S, but I feel like most people wouldn't put it as an S.
Oh, I disagree.
I think most people put it as an A or a B, personal preference depending. I don't know if most people, because S. I mean, there is a leap between this and Tapestry, right? This is more techie. That's more everyone. but this appeals to us. I'm just saying in the general audience. I think that there's a space between these two, but for us, we enjoy them both for different reasons.
I see. I mean, you can be wrong. That's fine.
I could be, if only. All right, next.
And then the next one that came up was The Chase from Dan Ben. So we'll do that one right now. And of course, this is the progenitor one. Again, this is top-notch Star Trek storytelling at its best, and never really. This could have had more. This needed more room to breathe, and I don't mean Discovery.
Oh.
It was nice that they referenced this, but this was a fantastic story. Having the beginning with the relic thing that he got from his old professor and the meaning behind that,
which he totally chucks in Generations.
Oh, that's just a replica. His real one's safe. It's fine.
Back in his Picard season 1 archive room that we saw.
Yeah. But no, bringing the Klingons, the Cardassians, the Romulans, everybody into this, and finding out at the end that it's just the changelings. I mean, not the changelings, the progenitors, because it's the same lady. That seeded the galaxy. That's why not all, but most sentient life looks similar with the bipedal humanoid appearance.
2 eyes, 2 face, all speak English.
Yeah. Also, some really great characters in this one, like the Klingon captain. Love him. The Cardassian lady. Like, there's some interesting. This is a really good episode of Star Trek. This is, again, top tier. Damn. Okay, I'll shut up now. But
okay.
What do you think of this one?
So I'm scrolling. I think people remember this episode for the end, which is fair.
Mainly.
It's a crazy, bold, weird, interesting. Let's fix plot holes that no one's talked about, but that everyone talks about in Trek. Is that thing. And as I'm scrolling, Galen was great. I believe his name at the start. Really good choice. Very much like Boothby, but not. And I see why they Boothby vibes. And the fact that he says this is your chance to do this one archaeological thing you've always wanted to do. I'm going. Come with me. And Picard thinks about it. Is really sweet and interesting. And but I just say a lot of the episode as I'm scrolling. That's like a good third of the episode is just that.
Yeah.
Which I always remember the chase being more chasey. And then, of course, we get to the stuff with the Klingons, which is good, really good choice for him. Not, that slightly more big and bold, not big and intimidating Klingon, which is a great choice. But I'm kind of surprised how little of it I remember in terms of the actual scenes of this, because it's just them deducing, and I don't remember most of that. So that's definitely going to lower it for me because the end does not give it points. But yeah, great lady casting, great premise about they all kind of peacefully, and then because they all find clues, don't they? And then they all come together, and then they all blow apart, and then they almost die at the end. Yeah.
I love Data interacting with the Klingon captain. He tries to headbutt Data, and
yeah.
Like, there's some really good stuff in here.
And some new model shots too, because this is like, wow, these are expensive, and they did them. Yeah.
Yeah. Good battle shots.
Although the Planet Hell set is not well suited. I get what they're trying to do, but it looks cheap and setty. It could just have gone to a location and shot this, because it does let the whole thing look a bit cheap, which is sad because all the stuff on screen is very expensive.
Yeah, I just like the build up for this one because it's like there's instant gratification with him and his professor and getting that gift, which means so much to him, and then there's like some kind of mystery that they're going to check out. This professor wants him to check out, and that leads to the next thing, and just a kind of domino effect. And everybody looks so good in this episode.
So my gut is a mid B because the fact that 80% of the episode is not memorable. No, not that. The first third, not the middle, and the end. I think A is probably pushing it because I don't. There's so much good in A. I think maybe in contrast it might be an A, but I think B is very fair because there's a lot of great stuff, but one scene that's cool does not necessarily equate to an A.
Yeah, we'll put it in B. I was thinking A personally. When I first started talking about it, I thought maybe an S. Like, did we get just 3 S's off the top? But
that's them, right? That's the people. And I want to know what you guys think, because like I said, I think in rewatching it, it'll be all about subtle dialogue, but there's not enough in it to be an A. But it's definitely a B, and the subtlety might get to an A in my view. But you have to rewatch it.
Yeah.
But hella famous for all the right reasons. But let us know what you guys think. I really want to know what you guys think of that one, score-wise. And vote in the poll.
And there's no way the progenitor thing could be a total letdown in any way, shape, or form.
I'll be honest. You mentioned Discovery. I forgot they paid it off like at the thing. I remembered the start with the Romulan, but not the end. I already blocked that in my brain. I forgot they did go there. Oh, I forgot all about that bit.
So sorry.
Oh.
Moving on.
Yep.
Classic for real puts in $35. Woohoo! Hold on. Don't get so fucking eager.
Put it back
I thought
on.
you were gonna.
Right, there you go. I'm now more clothed.
You're gonna get naked on screen. Tapestry is perhaps my favorite episode of the. No kidding. For me, it's up there with Balance of Terror and in the Pale Moonlight. $5 for Timescape. Love the luminal frozen shots, and $30 for Sam to get into uniform.
Oh my God, Stuart! I didn't see that coming.
We just looked at Timescape, though, man.
Well, that's how that worked. Dan got in there. All right, I gotta go and zip me up. So back in a few seconds.
Okay. Captain Corky, sorry, but the chase is a solid A at least. I think it's an A as well, but I see his point because there is a lot of filler in the middle there when I was scrolling through that I didn't remember all the little minutia. But yeah, I think it's personally an A. If you want to bump it up, you can. But for now, we're going to put it there for contrast-wise because I can see some of the other ones that he thinks might be an A quality, and we'll see contrast-wise where that falls. So, yeah, and classic. If you want us to throw one in at the end, maybe when the super chat's dried up, we can do that to replace your time escape call out there if you want. Let us know. But yes, hit the like button, guys. 28 of you here, which is great. 18 likes, also great, but we can do better. So hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Do all the things. I need a haircut. My goodness, I just looked at myself and quiet you. 26 votes on the poll. So if you haven't voted on the poll, go do that as well. And the poll question is, what do you think of Relics, the Scotty one? Amazing, classic, love it. Decent, okay, could have been better, or not great, didn't like it, sorry. Can we do Aquel, since that's another chat suggestion? Interest instead of bumping Timescape from S to S. Yeah, we can do Aquel. That would be the next one we look at. Aquel. All right. Wait for Sam to get back. This one is not fantastic. It's another like serious mystery one. There's a murder on an outpost, or not an outpost, but like a I don't know what you'd call it even. It's not a station per se, but and we have to watch this lady's logs. Geordi kind of falls in love with her while he's watching them. Turns out she's not dead. I can't remember the exact premise. Who was murdered? Somebody was murdered on an outpost. That's what it is.
I'm back. Hello.
And they suspect the Klingons. Hello.
That's such a nice hello.
Yes, I know. And there's an alien metamorph dog thing, which is...
As you do.
Yeah, we're talking about Aquel because he replaced Timescapes with that, so...
Yeah, it's amazing. This looks the right colour and doesn't that look the right red?
Yeah, it does.
I mean, it is very close, but that's like, yeah. Yeah. Aquel, yes. Don't remember it except the lady, and it being weird at the end.
Yeah.
Is that a good summary?
Yeah, and some kind of murder, and they suspect the Klingons, because the Klingons are in the area or something. I don't remember the in and outs of this one. I've only seen this one a few times, and it's really bad that all I remember is the girl and the dog that morphs.
Yeah. Klingons look great in this. I've never seen these. I mean, I obviously have, but like, they've all got grey hair and stuff.
Yeah. I know there's tension there going on. Like somebody was threatened by one of the Klingon captains in the area, and then so that's suspected of the murder. And there's DNA fused in the deck plate or something.
Yeah,
that seems to ring a bell. But other than that, I can't really remember any specifics on this.
I love how the first scene's the Enterprise Sea Bridge back bit. But they've like extended the set as far as it can go to make another set. But it's like, wow, they had to add stuff to the walls and, huh.
Yeah.
I mean, at least a D, but neither of us remember it that much. And I wonder why.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. I initially would have said a D for this one, but scrolling through it, it's a very nice looking episode. It's cool seeing the outpost.
Yeah.
The relay station or whatever it is.
I just remember
it's a nice looking episode. Like season 6 has got everything kind of firing, right?
Yeah, and the makeup of the lady's great. The Klingons look great. I mean, give it a C for probably decent, but we tend to do stuff we don't remember as a D. But
no, I'm fine to put this at a D because I never think about this episode.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
I want to rewatch it now. I want to go back and see what.
Yeah.
It's very Geordie heavy. He watches a lot of vlogs and talks to himself or talks to.
But it's not his one with his mum. His fake mum. He has two that are kind of similar.
Yes.
I remember this being really tonally weird, but in an interesting way, just weird. I remember feeling weird after watching this. Is she even real? Like, she's not, is she?
She's weird. She's real, yes. The dog isn't. The dog is an alien of some sort.
Right. That's the twist. That's what confuses me.
I think at first they thought she was dead, and then she's not dead. Like, I don't remember.
That's why yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, it ain't no timescape. With a bloody runabout.
It's a D.
That one runabout run we remember, but the whole episode's like, yeah. Not quite. Evil Space Dog. Bang.
Olivia Julius, $20. As we know, time's arrow goes on through us. Stewart is a relic of an older time. It's been a few decades since he was a rascal in truth.
Oh.
Stewart is old. Do all those episodes. Time's Arrow Part 2, Rascals and Relics. That was funny.
And you know what? I'm going to challenge everybody. Can you put your request in a sentence? That was great. I really liked that, though. That was very, very clever.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness. All right. Well, so we'll start off with Time's Arrow Part 2. Which I'm going to have to go back and quickly look because
this is the one in the past. And there's loads of period stuff. When we did the other versions, two-parter, we knew the first part, we didn't know the second part at all, basically, for whatever reason. Although I love that they've got the innkeeper lady, who's an innkeeper in all good things.
They're an acting troupe as well. They're all, Samuel Clements, of course.
It looks cool. Very what you associate with Star Trek. Far more seeing Edge of Forever is committing to the bit. But I remember always, like, I've seen it, and I'm scrolling, I remember the scenes, but nothing stands out except, like, near the end where it's like, oh, the Davidians, I think, are like, we don't mean to be harsh, but we need to eat life form energy from the past. And Picard, you work out they're not as evil as you think, but also still they've done bad. I don't know. And then Data, weird paradox, not quite.
I don't remember Samuel Clements going aboard the Enterprise, but apparently he did.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so there's... yeah. This seems like such a great idea and premise on paper, this episode. Or these two episodes.
It's never...
And it just didn't hit it. It just didn't hit. And I'm glad it kind of carries over to Lower Decks with Data's head thing.
And Samuel Clements.
Yeah.
It's got to be a D because I don't... This has obviously got to be the fish out of water humor, and I remember none of it except the troop. I do remember that.
Yeah, same.
So if anyone loves it and you generally love it, please up it to C with a super chat because I might love it as a B, but yeah.
That's what the fuck happened.
I mean, I can see what happened.
I can too, but it's not.
Yeah,
it doesn't help. I need to hear it.
Oh, I remember as I'm scrolling. I do remember the idea of the guy and she was there. She remembers the whole plot is because she hints Picard, who helps the scenario. And at the end, she's like, "You were there, you know." Yes, and now I've caught up with you, who I knew. A bald man went time past and helped me, and now you're here. It's like, oh, that's nice. That's fun. That's a great end. And then they kind of slightly ruin it in Picard season 2. Slightly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. Next up, we got Rascals.
Now, I don't know if you're going to love or hate this one. Thank you.
I love this episode.
Okay, good. Because you don't like children, so that might be against you.
I even like Ro in this episode. As weird as that sounds.
What happens, Jack? It's real weird.
Well, Ro, Laren, Captain Picard, and Guinan. I think there's some kind of transporter malfunction. Can't remember the exact reason they're like this. And Keiko O'Brien as well.
They hit like a dark matter thing in the shuttle, like a beam, and it causes interference and blah. Easy, classic. Oh no, and also there's a plant that she's beaming, and that metamorphoses them. That's why the beam.
Okay, I don't remember that.
Yeah, because that's how they revert. Yeah, they normally force them to beam out, but then the plants that Keiko has mess up their DNA, and that's how they come back.
So they're essentially kids with all of their own, all their memories, everything like that, and they will grow at a regular rate. So it's like you're getting a new, fresh start kind of thing with life. And you got Renee back playing young Picard,
who looks a lot older, which is good because yeah.
Really weird dynamic between O'Brien and Keiko because it's like, what the hell? And yeah, Ro Laren, I mean, being a grumpy little Gus, and then Guinan, of course, cheers her up. Like, Guinan's like, this is fucking awesome. Are you kidding? Then we get Ferengis somehow take control of the Enterprise. And all they have access to is the school computer, and they have to, like, do some shit. I love the whole, I want to see my dad. Now. My number one dad. There's some really fantastic moments in this, and these kid actors actually do a really good job, all of them, especially the Guinan one. But they're all kind of spot on. Like, this is a good ensemble of kid actors.
I think probably it helps they're older. Not to complain against people on the Turbolift last season, they were good, but they were younger mostly, so you got lesser range. Yeah. These are all like not teens, but they're nearing like really, really, I assume like 11, 12, 13, Yeah. No, this is classic. I mean, as a pitch, it sounds ridiculous, but if you hire good actors, it's all. I think this is very much like, I don't know if you agree, Stuart, in terms of the pitch sounding ridiculous, but at the end being very good. Musical Stranger Worlds. It sounds silly. Yeah. But it's like, oh, they took it seriously and they gave it a real heart, and it ends up being really successful because it has a real grounding. The fact that kids have to come to terms with themselves, they all act their parts as the adults. They don't just throw them in the school, is entertaining. Yeah, Guinan is just tremendous because she's been very old for a very long time. She's for the first time young again. Actually young again. She hasn't been young for probably 1,000 years. It's very nice for her.
The crux of this episode and the thing that kind of would make or break it is the kid actors, and they nailed it. If this had been awful kid actors, this would have been a shit episode. But it's so well
any
done.
One of them as well, because it's such an ensemble.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm scrolling the Keiko stuff. Is really well done for not. Yeah, really well done. I love seeing not Picard being captain. It's just so much fun. Just really, really fun.
Got the Picard maneuvers shirt pulled down.
Oh yeah, I mean, but obviously he worked with Patrick before, right? So that's a perfect cast because I've already worked with him several times. And then the idea of what if they're stuck this way? I mean, is he still a captain if he's 12? Yes.
He's got all the qualifications. I mean, that's the question that this brings up morally, right? Like,
and Ro's really is a dick, but in the best possible way. Like it all flows really, really well. And then the Klingons and the Ferengi. Yeah, the Ferengi was a lovely touch because this is how they're on DS9. They're a force that does things in interesting ways. They're not just profit. They're not just whatever. They well commit to this. And I think this is the start of their full uniforms, because these uniforms are great. I really like their look here.
Yeah. And
the school computer, always like the school computer and the little car. It's really creative. And I forgot. Of course, Alexander's in it. He'd have to be, thematically. Yeah, of course he is.
I don't remember how the Ferengis take control of the Enterprise, though. Seems like a pretty ballsy move.
All the Klingons. I mean, it's Klingons attacking. I guess they're fake Klingons, perhaps. I don't remember. No. Yeah. Oh, they're on a bird of prey. Oh, right. That's cool.
Just seems like an easy takeover of a Galaxy class ship. That's all.
I mean, you remember the special ones.
So, aside from that memory block of how they got control of the Enterprise, it is interesting. The escape plan, like you said, the little remote-controlled car. There's a bunch of really cool stuff there.
Hey,
and some great acting by the kids and a good plan.
Yes,
because they're not kids. Because they're
yes,
adults.
Exactly. And I wonder how much I can't recall how much they played into. They have the brain chemistry of kids, because they. Because I obviously Guinan wouldn't jump on a bed. She's too still for that. So I suppose that's been, and Guinan and Ro was more tantrumy, like a teen. So I'm guessing that they are still in their kid brain. They just have all the kid knowledge. This is tricky. I think this is easily an A. I think easily qualifies as an A.
I was thinking an A.
It's so different to the S's, but for a crazy premise that is incredibly well done. Is the simplicity of the premise, the success, is that enough to push it into like how different is this to the other S's, right? Because it's really successful. It's a damn fun one to watch.
It is, absolutely. I don't know. It could be S, but I mean, you're missing a lot of your main cast there. The card's not in it.
But you don't think about that.
No, you don't, because it's done so well.
I'm sure Patrick's like, so I only for like 2 days? Yes. Oh, I'm going to the theatre. Yes. The fact that you don't even think about that. I meant to watch it, but yeah, that's true. Okay, guys, let us know. Do you think? Because I think easily an A. I think personal preference. It's so like
it's at least the upper echelon of A, like A++. It's riding that line. It could easily be an S, but
yeah. Very cool.
And yeah, classic. I agree. Guinan was still using her adult brain. She just exactly knows what attitude adjustment Ro needs. Yeah.
I don't think Whoopi would have jumped on a bed with a hat. Because Guinan's never been that fun. So maybe.
I can see her doing that. I have no problem with that.
Sister Act Whoopi could.
There you go.
Oh.
And then finally, Relics.
Oh, wow. With some real heavy hitters in this season, as we have just learned, right?
Yes.
And then the Ds.
Yes. Okay, Relics, Scotty back. You get to see the TOS bridge. You get to see the Janolan, Sydney class. You get Dyson Sphere. I mean, transporter technology, keeping somebody alive for 70 plus years. It's a fantastic story, and him feeling like a fish out of water because everything's advanced. He feels like he's not needed. He feels like he's just in the way. Geordi's kind of an asshole, a little too much so.
Yeah.
And I just saw on YouTube the other night there was the scene they filmed for this, a deleted scene of Troy talking to Scotty, and it's fantastic. It should have been left in the episode. I think it just would have extended the length too much, I think. But it's just great having Scotty back. I mean, one of the most quotable lines from all of TNG is "No bloody A, B, C, or D." It's just cool. And then it is green. There's a lot of really good stuff in this episode. And visually, it's fantastic to see the Janolan holding open the doors of the Dyson Sphere with its shields. I see the shield. There's a lot here. It's a dense, fun episode, and it gives you all the nostalgia because you see Scotty back. The only thing I don't like about it is Geordi's reaction to Scotty, but at the same time, I understand it because he would be kind of intimidated by Scotty because Scotty was a legend, and I get the interpersonal conflict there, and it does kind of get ironed out. But the ending is very lackluster with, here's a goddamn shuttle, fuck off. It's like, oh, thanks.
At least it's not a shuttle pod. He has warp at least.
Oh, that would have been awful.
Yeah. Scotty, you want to spend retirement in a shuttle pod? No. Well, we're all out of shuttles. Yeah, like I said, I'm always worried about this episode. Are we overhyped because it's a legacy? But I think there's something.
Because we weren't for unification.
That's what I'm saying. But that was so wrapped up in its own story. This story is him. But then it shifts this amazingly sci-fi concept of the Dyson Sphere, the real threat. They will be locked in there forever. We all like vintage ships. That's always fun. And the fact that, Scotty is, even today, if you took somebody, like, say a 20-year-old worked on the iPhone 16 Plus, and you handed him an iPhone 1, you'd be like, oh, wow, you had to make them that? Oh, wow, how do I... they're so far beyond, or even iPhone 1 to 16, like, I don't know how do you fit a periscope in a camera when we have no cameras, right? Or the iPod, anyway. So it's a really refreshing look, kind of into darkly, right, of TOS versus NX tech. It blows it apart. So how is Scotty, who is a legend, so out of his depth? Because tech changes, tech evolves, and clearly the new style is a new style, right? There's certainly, my God, and I'm sad beyond belief that James Doohan, could have come back in DS9 in season 2 as a sequel, where he's now in full Voyager uniform, which would have been crazy, helping the station come in and get, like, imagine that, right? He becomes because he feels like he earns a place in a recurring role in this episode. He's very good, so much depth, and considering who was in TOS, the engineer that's a bit fun, to this level of mourning and sad and yet fun and yet, really, really amazing. Should have been in it more. Yeah, great recreation. Picard's great. I kind of get Geordie in some semblance, because you imagine this is like, Trip Tucker and Montgomery Scott and the guy from the Bee, right? Those are your idol, and Cochrane. Those are your idols. And you meet him, and he's not what you expect. Certainly, if your idol is him when he's young and fresh, who thinks of the Dirty Harry guy, Clint Eastwood now in his 90s? You always think of him as prime. So if you met him now, you'd be disappointed because he can't be who he was then. So, but yeah, certainly more of a dick than he had to be. But then it makes the end more satisfying. So you have to sort of sacrifice your baby to the other one. Anyway.
There's a little plot hole, but they didn't know that it's a plot hole at the time, where he's like, I expected Jim Kirk to pull out the Enterprise out of mothballs and come and rescue me. You remember him dying on the Enterprise B before you got on the Janolan? Oh no, because they hadn't written that yet. So this is, and we point this out all the time because it's not just new Star Trek that fucks things up. So he had transporter psychosis from being in the transporter so long. It affected his memory. It explained away. Boom. It's fine.
Yeah, it's tricky when 2 years later he was there. But then again, even if the script was written, it was Spock. You know what I mean? Had it been written, he only came in near the end when they didn't get Spock. Although he's still great in it. Actually, does a good job. Yeah, but obviously, the transporter thing absolutely works great. I mean, your brain's going to get a bit messed up. And it wouldn't be long after 6 anyway, because he's retiring to get a boat. This is in post-retiring. Which is, of course, ironic that he played this first, so he had to look older here than he had to there. And he does, even though they film it on later. Whatever.
Yeah.
The green is a great callback. Yeah, it's a really wonderful piece of just... It's that rare thing of a lot of modern media break the past generation heroes, which is sad. And they do it here. But they give him that third act. The first act is fun. Middle act is damn sad, but you understand it. In the third act, he is able to rise. And you can tell he unretires. And that's why it needed a follow-up. I mean, in the same vein, I don't know if he was alive still or could act, but imagine if he had been in the Pathfinder Voyager episode with Barclay. You know what I mean? Like a little cameo here in full greys, like helping them. Like, you could have blown people's minds. Like, oh, and of course Scotty's been working with us for another 40 years, 20 years, whatever. Like that would have been. So it's special in how it does take the journey. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a really good novel that's a follow-up to this. But for me, it's an S. On so many levels.
Yeah. It's gotta be a cheeky S.
Yeah. And it's not purely nostalgic because we have a legacy back, because unification was just
and nor was Farpoint.
Well, that's
The Admiral. But also, had they known TNG was such a success, it would have been just like with Arrow and Flash, have the yearly TOS actor crossover. That would have been amazing. Every year, let's give Nichelle one. Let's give George Takei. Like, that would have been, I mean, weird and crazy, but especially since, you know, during TNG they were doing the film, so you could have had Uhura in just her uniform from the prop department playing Uhura from Star Trek 5 in TNG season 3, right? You could just have had her play the same age. It would have been literal, right? Would have been fun. But this is a great.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
All right. Next up, we got Matthew Lebner, $10.
Hello.
One of my what episode was Rightful Heir, mostly because it felt with Klingon beliefs and great guest actors in the roles. What were your thoughts? This is the Kahless clone, isn't it?
The who, sorry?
No, this is Kahless. This is the correct Prime Universe version.
I don't know who you're talking about. Do you mean Bob?
No. Yeah.
Oh, okay,
cool. Kahless. No, that's not this universe. What are you talking about?
See, this one I only remember from how it affects everything after.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. And there's a great book, Kahless, which expands upon this. It's the direct sequel to this episode. And he's great in it as Kahless. There's like scenes of him walking through, walking through his people and like seeing the political ramifications and getting the history of Kahless. This guy narrates it, so he really owns it. But what a magic concept. You know, Worf is not doing so well in his faith. Well, of course, it's not religion, but it's a combined thing. And then he calls upon Kahless because he's so pious all of a sudden, and then they get to hang out with the guy that started everything. And he's kind of great, not like literally he's great, but like it's such an interesting, fun concept, and the whole thing is there just to kind of bring the second coming to everyone. So that there's they just had a civil war. Makes sense. Let's unify. And then it comes out that he's just a clone based on some DNA, which is great by itself. And Gowron's great in it to bring back the continuity. And by the end, it's like, because technically he should come back and take over the Empire, right? That's kind of his thing. At the end, it's like, no, we'll give you the ceremonial emperorship, but no actual power. Get off my lawn. And everyone kind of wins at the end. And it's really, it's a really interesting piece of, TV.
Yeah. The whole mythical return of this godlike figure.
But not a god. It's a very interesting...
No.
Yeah.
But the myths make him out to be like a demigod at least.
Sure.
Like,
yeah, sure.
And this is great. And the priest trying to cover it up. I can't remember all the minutia of it. But there are some really good shots in this. A lot of good Klingon lore. There's a really great shot of the Enterprise from the back, which is really nice. And such an elegant solution to the problem, so Gowron doesn't have to feel like he's being ousted. Mm-hmm. This is a figurehead. This is somebody that the Klingon people can rally around and get behind, but has no real political power. Love that.
Because as they say, like he's a real successful clone of the real DNA. He did look like this. He sounded like this. He's the right age. And he doesn't have real memories. He has implanted memories, all the stories. So he's kind of, his brain's filled with the best version of everything. But he's fine. It's fine. It's a really interesting concept. And he has to come to terms with the fact that he's not real, but what is real? He's it's a very interesting... Yeah.
Yeah.
One to rewatch. I think there'll be a lot of subtlety in this that I just don't remember. But I remember really...
Same.
It's a very mature thing and story. In a Klingon context.
Yeah. More memorable one, though, is the DS9 one where they find the Sword of Kahless. I think that sticks in my memory a little bit more than this one does.
Well, that's got more Trek. This has more Klingon. You're not a big fan of the Klingons. This dedicates itself to how TNG did it, which is going to their world and doing their thing. That's more through our eyes, is through their eyes. I think it should be a solid B. Low B. But I think it's such an interesting idea, well told. Yeah. I remember liking it. Yeah.
I just don't remember enough of the minutia. Like, it's a pretty simple, straightforward story, and I know there's kind of a rigmarole getting around Gowron because he shows up and he's all feels threatened, and So there's a lot of political talk and stuff in it.
I believe I remember the first time watching this and thinking, oh wow, Garon's back. Like, continuity. We have, like, he's still Chancellor. He's back. He's cementing his absolutely A-star. Like, wow, he's amazing. Yeah. Jay Donaldson, what? People die and come back all the time. He probably just talked to the Great Koala.
In Star Trek, it's true.
Yeah.
In Star Trek and sci-fi, no one's really truly gone.
Oops.
Sean O'Sullivan, €2. Birthright, on account we get some HD DS9.
Yes. And because Classic keeps over donating, we'll include that as a... Yeah. So Birthright 1, because they're two different things, right? Birthright 1 is the DS9 episode, which ends at the colony.
Okay.
Do you want me to go first and you can skim?
Yeah.
They're at DS9, guys. A crossover. We said TOS crossover. Now got DS9. You're very correct. The very first and possibly only time HD. A tremendous pairing of Bashir and Data. True Bashir before he becomes a cynical, very barely acting, arrogant prick. He's just fun here. And wearing tennis shoes because of the carpet. You can see them. But really good connection. And wonderfully and weirdly, Worf is on the station, which is kind of fun thinking that he's going to live there for like 6
Foreshadowing.
Yeah. Worf shadowing. And yeah, saying, yeah, you're I mean, really it's a huge storyline. Your dad, Kittimer, was a massacre, but it was also a prisoner take. And your dad could very well, and he does believe, and I think they say he was actually on the colony, did die there. I think. Mm-hmm. Like, you could go find your dad and your people, maybe brothers, like people who you know, and just, you know, let's say some Klingon on the Romulan colony. So he escaped, you know, he gets out on his own, and then finds that they've sort of melded their societies a bit and now formed a weird hybrid colony. And he falls. Well, it's next episode, but then he falls for a hybrid lady.
And Zephram Cochrane as Mole Man.
Oh, is he? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it is. Also, this also focuses on Data's dreams. Data starts having dreams, starts painting visions from his dreams, which is the B story, which is really intriguing.
Who remembers the same episode?
No one.
Yeah, no one.
Bashir is helping him out. The whole and the Romulan guy at the end.
Yeah.
Is the same guy from Data's Day, the same Romulan commander, same actor, different character. It's got a good cadence and speech pattern for a Romulan.
Well, he's measured.
Measured. It's so the same guy.
Yeah, and you always forget the dream stuff. And some amazing Enterprise D shots. My God, I had to be really bold there. And memorable stuff. He gets to meet his dad, which he already met, but now the younger version of his dad, played by him. So you wonder, what was Brenton like at this time?
Yep.
That's good. But is there a point to the dream? Because I feel like the payoff is that he was built that way, but it took him to evolve enough to access it.
Yes, that was the point. This was to teach him. He had to get to this point and then unlock the dream sequences so that he could start to realize and what it's like to be more human. I think. Again, I don't remember the follow-up to it, like how it ends with that, but
it's not the dream sequence where he hits the miners. Oh, they're very similar, but not.
No, that's
this is far more. We're spending lots of money there. Let's have Brent walk around the set. That'll cost you 1 day and 10 grand. And that's fine, right? So they do something interesting with it. But I'm kind of shocked at the same episode.
Yeah, are we reviewing both episodes?
Nope. They're separate. Unlike the other seasons where they're one in each. This is both in this. So just the first part.
I think the first part's more interesting to me personally.
Well, the mystery is really interesting. The colony is not.
Yes.
So the possible. And I think it's a great twist. You know, they're prisoners. Oh, she's my wife. What?
Yeah.
High C, good, not great.
I was thinking C. I'm glad you said high C, because I was thinking, how are we going to justify this being a B?
That's the thing. Yeah, like it wouldn't take much to be a B, but it would take a little bit.
I mean, it is cool seeing, like you said, Worf on Deep Space Nine, see Bashir on the Enterprise. There's some cool crossoverness there, but
I think if you actually had, I know it's all contracts and money, blah blah. If you actually had, you know, Sisko and Picard see each other again and have a payoff,
that would have been great.
Exactly, like small thing, but them having a coffee and just having a continuation. I mean, honestly, just if the entire DS9 cast had been this episode in even a small way, for like a scene each, like in a scene, like that would have made it a B, because then you would have seen how they all connect. But the fact that they are on DS9, but it's sort of 2/3 asked, you know. Yeah, but Bashir is excellent. That is still a great pairing. I just would like to have seen, you know, Sisko and anybody, because that Sisko and Picard would have been, I hadn't ever thought that before, but that would have been such a good payoff.
Yeah.
But I guess if you're assuming people aren't watching DS9, then the teenage audience would be like more confused for the tension of the scene. It would have to be, I don't know.
Well, it's funny. Me and Sylvia just watched this one like a month ago.
Oh shit!
Because it was on Pluto TV, and
That's
one of the things I said as soon as Picard and Beverly walk onto the promenade. I'm like, it'd be so cool if Picard and Sisko could have a scene in this episode.
Yeah,
but
or even, I mean, you want to, or even just Kira saying, "I'm sorry, the commander can't see you right now," and then Beverly says, "Oh, just like our Ro."
Yeah.
It's just like, who's Ro? Was it going to be you? Because that's kind of funny to think. Ro's still in the show, but Ro was going to be this character, that character.
Yep.
Maybe then, yeah. No. Keep submitting, guys. We've got loads left.
All right, moving on. Ozzy puts in $5. Make it a AAA. Make what a AAA?
Remind us. That was a while ago. Let us know.
Ozzy, $2. Is the Enterprise a clipper ship? That's from. Yeah.
Might have been one.
That was a good scene.
Yeah, when was the first Enterprise? Actually, the first Enterprise ship called Enterprise. I wonder.
Oh, it was a clipper ship.
There you go.
Anyway.
Oh, Devereaux, good point. What would happen to the colony after destruction of Romulus? That's something. Yeah.
I forget how the episode ended. I know the colony, they wanted to be left alone. They were all happy with their Romulans.
I think if someone puts in part 2, I think they agree that the kids can go if they want to, but the adults are very happy to stay. So it's kind of like everyone wins, but yet Moog's not there, and it's sad, but also, yeah. It's a weird everyone wins, therefore no one wins kind of ending. Now, had he met his dad, right?
Yeah.
But
all right, classic for real, $5. Spock instead of Scotty, you say. Okay, Unification 1 and 2. Wait, that was the last live. Gotta finish Birthright Part 2 then.
You took us on a journey then, didn't you? I was thinking, is Sarek in this season? No. Or Scotty, or, yeah. There we go.
Birthright Part 2. Not as good as the first part. Yeah, I don't remember a lot of specifics from this one. I just know that, yes, we get the... How could you live with Romulans? Oh, we're all very happy here, you know.
We're all half Romulan too, or a third Romulan, or a quarter.
Yeah.
My boyfriend's Romulan. It's like, fine now.
And Worf has this little romance kind of thing going on with this half Klingon, half Romulan lady.
Because the ears are hidden by her hair, you don't know until he's like, I remember that moment.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to scroll. It finishes up, of course, the Datas dream sequence thing as well, but I don't remember a lot of that specifically. So
does it? I think it doesn't. I think it's entirely colony based. Like I'm scrolling and no, Data's all the last episode.
Oh,
yes,
okay.
Like 95% the colony. So I do like this episode because it's damn unusual. It's very similar to the Peanut Hamper episode that they just commit. So the set's actually quite good because they have all the money. The guest cast actually solid, and the lady they pick is so like torn, and you really sense in the performance she's not there fully because she's like innocent and confused, and it all kind of works. And I'm sure Michael Dorn was thrilled by this episode. It is so like interesting for his development because at a certain point they do say, you know, you're stuck here because this colony is kind of a secret because I think they do say, and I'm remembering here, I believe, if Romulus knew we had this colony of Klingons and now half-breeds, quarter-breeds, whatever, they would come kill everybody. So we accept to all live here in peace by not really being part of the outside. So everyone loses to have this colony. But part of that also is there's no violence, no weapons, because Klingons are aggressive. And then, but Worf's like, that represses who you are. And so he has these really fun sequences of teaching them how to use, farming instruments to be weapons. Because Klingons, they don't know about honor and warrior stuff, and it's a bit culture is very interesting. I really like him do that, and he kind of mentors the kid, and it's interesting. And I think at one point the Romulan guy's like, "We're trying to let you live here peacefully, but you're so goddamn Klingon." It's like, well, yeah, but stop it, just live here. It's like, nah, I'm gonna go get meat, and it's just, yeah,
hunters.
Yeah, and he sings, and you get the song, and yeah. It's a really interesting social study. Is it amazing? No. Is it very interesting? Yes. Was it a hell of a punt? Yes. Did it give everyone's time off? Yes.
Yeah. Nah, not one of my favorite episodes. I do remember the first one being much better. I think because of the data stuff, and there's a good mix of A and B plot.
Yeah, this is hyper A.
Yeah.
I still think it should be a C though, because it's not bad by any means.
No, I agree.
And it's so unique. And you do like all the characters. But if you don't like Klingons, I get it. But Michael must have loved this, just to get a full episode, because basically no one else is in it except him. Yeah.
Yep. There is Enterprise stuff, but he didn't meet his rendezvous, so they're trying to track where his ship went, and yeah. But it's very minimal. Oh my god.
Yeah.
All right. Matthew Lebner, $10. There's a couple more first Chaos of Command Part 2. Chaos of Command, and the other one is Face of the Enemy.
Chain of Command.
Chain of Command.
So jumping straight to Part 2, eh? You guys are the bosses. The Torture One. So I mean, very, very good drama, incredible acting, wonderful makeup and costume all around. I mean, amazing guest cast. David Warner is superb, and as the anecdote, he was brought in like 1 week before shooting all the scenes because the other guy couldn't do all the makeup, and so every single line is on cue cards because he didn't have time to learn any lines because he was given a week or a day, like it was, or maybe in like 2 days. And the fact that it's so seamless and perfect is like, shit. Frick, wonderful. And it's the most Cardassian episode ever to this point. Would be also interesting. Okay, you not got the image, or I think it's moving.
Sorry. Where the fuck is the image?
The Torture Picard. As you always say, Jellicoe was right, because he, it turns out that sometimes you have to deal with the villain the way they want to be dealt with, bluff them, strategy them, and if you watch it with the context of he was right the whole time, then yes, you can bluff up to a point, and if it works, it works, and it worked, and he's actually not a baddie, even though everyone knows Ronnie Cox is the baddie character, so it's a great subversion of character person. It's like getting Mars Mikkelsen for the romantic lead, right? Like, he's a villain probably. Like, nah, he's a good guy, right? Yeah. So it's a really interesting episode. Not fun in any way to watch, but I mean, talk about Cardassian episode.
Yeah, it's super dramatic. It's a fantastically written episode, superbly acted, very dense. Again, like we get a lot of
Days in Red. Sorry,
get a lot of David Warner talking, and he is compelling to listen to. I can't believe that he wasn't their first choice for this, because he just is so good. Yeah. Hearing the stories, wondering if the stories he's telling are true necessarily, and trying to fuck with Picard, and then all that's great. I'm not a big fan of the torture stuff. This is not fun to watch, like you said, and the end really bothers me, where he sits in the ready room with Troy and says, there was a time where I almost said there was 5 lights. Hated that ending. And
I'm surprised it didn't break
never,
sooner.
Yeah. It never really goes anywhere after that. Like, I don't think this is mentioned again. Not like Locutus stuff.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it should be. It's a pretty powerful thing. Anyway. That bothers me. That really puts a... I don't know.
Yep.
I thought the card was better than that.
But you don't... Because remember, the part of the point is that he was lured there and they were kidnapped, and I believe there was some proof they might have been dead. There was something going on, so there was no reason to think he was never going to get rescued. So at that point, he's just hurting himself by capitulating, or by not capitulating. And that's why it's like, just tell us information, we'll be fine. That's amazing. Like, the fact that he goes as far, and at the end, doesn't he say, he's like, you lost because I'm free? After all that, you're the loser, and that's the worst thing to be in the situation, you know. And I remember Warner's face being like, it just breaks him a little bit, you know. As I'm scrolling, just an amazing little moment of him dealing with his daughter, as in the David Warner, and having the propaganda, but you know he believes it. That's kind of how the culture is, and it's just so, you know, perspective based. You understand instantly. They people can hate people because of stories they tell their children.
Yeah.
That's it. That's you know. Yeah.
Yeah.
So interesting. So interesting. And you imagine both these actors who knew each other, worked together, I'm sure, both heavily Shakespearean. David Warner's always been Shakespearean. They must have loved this episode so much. Part of the stress of not knowing the lines and the stress of being tortured. But like acting-wise, they probably went away every day thinking, that sucked. My best work this year. You know.
Okay. I mean, for an episode of television, this is 1000% top notch. It's so well done in every aspect. But as a Star Trek episode, like I said, it's not enjoyable to watch. I mean, that is the point. I don't know. Where do you think it should be placed?
So scrolling, it's much better than part 1, I'm going to say, because I don't like how they get to this part. Some of the leaps in logic, but once they're here, it all sort of commits fully.
Yeah.
I mean, it's better acted than anything in S.
It is.
But that's because it's like drama you never thought you were going to get in Star Trek.
Should be an S.
I think I will say very high A, just because the Calassian Jellicoe stuff is overshadowed by the Picard stuff to the point that I don't remember that stuff except bluffing. Right? It's good, I remember, but it has not, that itself doesn't hold up as well compared to other stuff. So I think A is a very high A, because everything in S, everything is memorable for being sharp. This, there's a slight disparity, just like with Rascals.
Yeah.
I mean, just that you don't think of this for those scenes, you think for those scenes, and so it's a little bit. But like right there, and again, we're trying to, yeah. Oh.
Is this one of the most quotable episodes or seasons of Star Trek ever? So many quotes come out of this. There are 4 lights. It is green. Nobody A, B, C, or D.
Laughing at a cloud.
Yeah.
I mean, and a hell of a, well, I must say, a hell of a spread. 2 birthrights in C. That's our C. That's. I mean, it's a spread because of birthright.
That's average storytelling at its best.
Oh God, yeah. Yeah.
And then,
okay. Can anybody? Is there an F? Does anybody have an F?
We also have to look at Face of the Enemy.
Oh right, yeah, it's Troy. Troy.
Yes.
Which and this is so. Like I love this as a thing because we had a fully Klingon committed episode on the sets, right? We had and I guess so a fully commit Romulan, a fully commit Klingon. And Calassian. The 3 major races, a fully commit episode, pretty much. That's impressive. That's very interesting.
Yeah, it's great. The mystery just from the get-go of this one. She wakes up as a Romulan. It's like, what the hell is happening? I don't remember specifically why she's there. And the guy on the Enterprise, I don't remember the story.
So...
But, I'm sorry. I don't. I'm...
So face the enemy. She wakes up because the Obsidian Order of Tal Shiar, I guess, or whoever have, or some branch of something are like, have decided they need a telepath. Like, they need her specific set of skills to the situation. And I believe she was also at a colony and they kidnapped her, as you do. So she happened to be there, happened to be the right person. And she's fully Romulan, and she has to portray a Tal Shiar operative, which default gives her higher authority. And they have to build Romulan sets. And they bring the clone captain from season 2 back, although different character, same actress, same portrayal, like same vibe, which is excellent. And yet really fun, really interesting Romulan politics or any Federation backing. So it's incredibly insular, and that's why it's really, really refreshing. Plus you have you don't really get Tal Shiar except this episode, because you have the nature of, she's a special agent essentially, she's FBI and they're just normal. And then you get the human guy who's been a spy for ages as well. They have to rescue someone else who's on the Decks, and that's the whole thing. You have to put Deanna on the ship and make her look Tal Shiar, so she can sneakily order her way into getting the ship to a place to beam the person over to save them for a real reason. But then they get the Enterprise D, and then they're like, oh, we need to fire on the Enterprise D, and she betrays her own handler, and it was kind of crazy to try and show strength. She's really excelling as like, I've got to rise to the occasion. And then she threatens the Enterprise, and then they're like, talk to the Romulans. Huh, it's Troy. I'm just going to play as cool. Which is great. And then they work out a twist to beam him over, and it's like, everything's fine. We did it. And Troy's like, top of her game. It's Marina's best episode because she gets it to herself.
Yes. Yeah.
She's excellent. And a Romulan Bridge, which we just built for a fan film, and it's a really cool, weird set.
I like how she goes toe-to-toe with the Romulan commander, too.
Yeah. And there's this great shot, which I saw recently because I was doing the screen caps. So the Epic Bridge, right? There's a sequence where they're having a meeting in the conference room, the equivalent of the conference room. And it's a really serious meeting about the Tal Shiar, right? And they all get up, and they turn, and they walk onto the bridge. And there's no door in between. Because the sets were connected. And so literally it's just walk into the set, and you see them walk into the set. As like, so you did this whole secret conversation from ear reach of the entire bridge. Yep, you did. Okay.
Oh, there's a force field there, a sound dampening force field.
Hey, love it. Great. But what set design to literally just walk onto from the side bridge open room? It's just, yeah. Yeah, I mean, very memorable, really interesting, politically wonderful. I mean, very, very middle B, getting to high B. It's just such a, like, you think Romans, you think Troy, these are both ones that, like, yes, it's so unique.
Yep, I can't say I remember a lot of the minutia this one. I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know.
I just remember the
and you like Romans too.
No, I just can't remember the back and forth between her, or I can remember the back and forth between her and the commander. Always kind of testing each other.
Whereas I can, that's why I'm saying B.
Perfect.
No, not A, B.
That's what I'm trying to do.
Okay, yeah. Hell of a cool punt. Because it shows the development. Like, this is sort of similar to season 3 when Riker went to the Bird of Prey, but now the maturity of the writing, storytelling, and it's elevated by that. Anyway.
Yes. Classic for real, $5. You can't have Chain of Command Part 2 without Parts 1 or 3. There are 3 parts of Chain of Command. There are 2 parts. Oh my goodness.
You'll not break us just with a super chat. No, sir. That's crazy. There's 2 two-parters in the middle of the season. That's crazy.
Well, like I said, this is kind of leading into the more serialized storytelling that we get in Deep Space Nine, because Deep Space Nine is running at this point, and they're trying to bring that to TNG a little bit. This is the best way to do it.
So pre-torture, what do you think of Chain of Command 1?
I kind of like Chain of Command Part 1. I like Jellicoe coming on board. I like the whole mystery of what this mission is about, the training for it. Jellicoe and Riker clashing. Riker is a little bit of a child in this episode, which is disappointing.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to process why he would be. Yeah.
Yeah, he's just so snarky. He doesn't know what's going on. He's first in command of the Enterprise, the flagship, and he hasn't been informed of what the fuck is happening and why Jellicoe's in charge. So he gets a chip on his shoulder and he starts acting like a whiny little child.
Well, he tries to almost mutiny in part 2.
Yeah. And then yes, the whole excursion, the spy stuff, that Jellicoe going head to head with the Klingon or the Cardassians, in the briefing room is so well done. We're gonna let him storm off onto the bridge, and he's like, just let him chill out in there. He'll calm down in a minute. I love that. He knows how to deal with Cardassians, and I love his attitude about it. It doesn't take shit from them.
It's like the advice in Enterprise with the Tellarites. They exist a certain way. You have to be a bit mean to them back. That's how they run. That's okay. Like, expect a headbutt a Klingon. Maybe.
Yes. And then the twist at the end of like Picard gets captured, and it's like, what the hell? Yeah, this is a better episode for me than the second one. It's just more going on, and it's more back and forth, whereas the second one focuses more on the torture and stuff. Although I do admit that the second one is superbly written and acted. This one is still really good, but it feels more, it's more watchable for me. I don't know. I just have a real hard time with part 2.
Yeah, so
as you're supposed to.
Yes. So for me, the great guest stars, great guest. Well, Cheyev come back, lovely. Always good to see her, because I know her a little bit. For me, though, everything in the caves I dislike. It looks bad. It's filmed bad. It's acted bad. I don't care. I don't know why they're sent. So everything in caves pulls it down a full grade because none of it's well done, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And that's just. And I just don't buy they'd be sent on this mission. I never have. It just seems stupid to me. You've got all these spec ops teams existing in the world. Let's send Picard, an archaeologist man, Worf, fine, and Beverly. No, you send a special ops team. What are you on about? Right? It just seems silly. The bit of the canteen is fine, but not good. Everything with Jellicoe is good. Caves is not good. That's the disparity for me. And very much the Cardassian stuff is then continuing in part 2. So, yeah, it's just, yeah. And also, I'm trying to think, like, the scenes are all kind of the same. After he's on the ship, all the Jellicoe stuff's just kind of the same scene, but progressed, so it's not visually interesting either. I mean, I guess part 2 is all the torture stuff, but at least there's sort of a few more things. I don't know, it's less interesting than part 2 for me, and like I say, everything in the caves is just not good. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. But I like seeing the handover of command. I like seeing the headbutting between Riker and Jellicoe. Like, there's some really good stuff there. Although, yeah, I agree that the second part is probably better written and just better as a whole. I mean,
I'll be fine with the low B, but I think it's like, again, contrasty. But perfect casting for Jellicoe. Like, that was fucking inspired.
Yeah.
And obviously he tells Troy to, do a job in uniform. But it's just like, yeah.
Comes across as a proper dickhead, and as the episode progresses, though, you'll learn his tactics, and you're like, okay, wait a minute, this guy's he's doing exactly what he's there to do.
Yeah, he's been brought in because this is the situation he needs to be there for. As I'm re-scrolling, he's then in the captain's seat of the briefing room. He's already modified because it's now his room. It's like, no, John Lucas, my room. It's like, yes, yeah. But I do think had they had like a Cardassian set, like a ship they could have boarded and done some stuff, then get captured, would have been much higher, right? But it's just the cave set that's not done very well.
Yeah.
Although not to link too much, but had they known then Lower Decks Norton Bateson was going to be a spec ops operative, imagine him being the guy to help, right? Kelsey Graham will come back. That'd be amazing.
Classic for real, $2. I heard COC writers survives Serbian secret police. Oh, the chain of command writer survived the Serbian secret police. Well, that makes sense. They can write those torture scenes. That's...
Yep.
Wow, I did not know that. That is impactful to learn.
Because it's very grounded.
Yes.
He's very much the Hans Gruber approach. Don't be big, be small. Or Khan, right? The smaller the performance, the more impactful. And Classic says Commander Riker knows more about commander missions than Picard. Yes.
Yes.
I would have bought
Well,
not the torture, but I would have bought Riker more.
I disagree. You have to be a captain. You have to be a first officer for a long time as well, which would be doing all the away missions. That's why the captains have the experience of away missions. They just haven't done them in a few years.
But
that's the point.
But how many
chain of command?
But how many spec ops did they do on a Stargazer? Because that's where you're second in command. But
could have been a few.
Could have been. I don't think you'd call on Picard. I know what you mean, but I don't think. I can see Riker being asked more. Like
how many spec ops has Riker done?
So many they're so secret. He's a tall guy with more fighting experience, except sword. I don't know.
Classic for real, $5. Chain of Command Part 2 is S tier. All right, well, we're up.
The arrow is very important. Oh, guys, we are out of submissions. We still have a good chunk of time left. Plenty left. Just some quick fires. Let's get the rest in the board. Because there's some heavy hitters. I'd like to see the contrast with the other ones.
Yes.
Because there might be an F. There might be a couple of Fs. I'm interested. Well, a bit harsher there is, but there might be. I don't know.
There might be.
I don't know.
All right, Chain of Command's up. Been bumped up.
There's a Borg episode, a Q episode, a Data episode, a Die Hard episode, a Sherlock Holmes episode. The every year Troy gets some sort of mentally assaulted episode. Every year.
Right. Picard gets a girlfriend episode.
There's the Riker Emmy awarding episode, performance-wise. There's the other Riker, other award, other Emmy playing two characters episode. There's the Schism, the one that we all love because it's so damn creepy. There's some there are some memorable ones here. I wonder if this season they thought, fuck it, right? Let's just go weird and interesting because there's some concepts in this. I'm really using the idea of the world.
Matthew Lebner, member for 23 months at the rank of Admiral. You asked if anyone had an F. First episode, Lessons. Second would be Starship Mine.
Ah. Lessons.
Yeah, I'm trying to see myself.
Wait, hold on.
All right, Lessons.
Oh, Lessons. There is one.
It's the Picard gets another girlfriend. I don't think that's F.
Yeah, so yeah, Picard bumps into. If I recall, it starts with him being like a. There's power being used in a place that shouldn't be. Then you see what's happening. This lady's like running her team past the dedicated time, and he's like, "No, it's all about procedure. You can't just come and work overtime. You've got to." If I'm right, I think that's the opening. Just kind of sets her up as a really hard-working, creative type. Yeah. Which is a good start.
And I also disagree. Starship Mine is also not an S tier.
Terminator. Die Hard.
Die Hard in space. With Tuvok. But not Tuvok.
This is the not Tuvok not in Starfleet versus the not Tuvok in Starfleet.
Yes.
Because there are several not Tuvoks. How crazy is that? He gets everywhere. Look, they just keep one higher Tim Russ.
He's like sand.
Oh.
What?
Is he coarse and gets everywhere? I mean, that's true. You also got the Nausicaan, the flute, so that's the big continuity there. I quite like the wireless piano. That's fun.
Are we talking about these officially? I thought that was just.
Oh no, I mean 24 months. You know, obviously, yeah.
Oh, well, you didn't say that.
Oh, that's why I talked about it.
We're doing just one of them or both?
Oh, just the one. Cause, yeah.
Okay. Cool.
I remember liking it fine, but not that it does that much. I wonder because it's trying to do not a lot. I don't know. Well, I remember as I'm scrolling, there's a like a wildfire thing, and you spin off the episode sort of liking her, but he could either save the crew or save the mission, and she could die, and then you realise that he can't let, by having somebody on the ship that will affect decision making, it affects his decision making, and I think he chooses to let her die abstractly because of the mission, and she survives. It's like, yeah, this obviously is not going to work, but it's like, yeah. But I don't remember the last conversation. I remember the thing on the table, but not the last bit. If I summarise it reasonably well.
You did. She accepts another assignment to save him the burden of having to deal with this. And they say their goodbyes. That's all I remember. Yeah.
Thoughts?
I think it's a humanizing episode for Picard. It puts him in, well, gives him a likability that, you know, he's found somebody he's found attractive. She finds him attractive.
And reasonably decent chemistry.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. They do their thing. He definitely has a type.
Seems slightly Beverly hair, yeah.
And then it also shows the indecisiveness of even somebody like Picard, who's been a captain for so long, knows his duty, can still be affected by something like an interpersonal relationship. And it's a fantastic Picard episode. The guest actress, she's awesome.
But low-key really awesome.
Well. Yes.
Like not in the same way that Vash or several other female actors. Like, she doesn't quite... But also she's a low-key science lady. It absolutely makes sense, but she can maybe... Like, Beverly has something special with a secret sauce in her performance that kind of elevates it. She's just good. You know?
Yeah.
I found something while I was scrolling. And I'm surprised they put this in, but I mean, TMP has something sort of vaguely similar. There's a famous lack of set in the Jeffries tube.
Yeah, I know. The painting of the it's awful.
And there's a wide, and there's the guys. I know you're out of set, but look, it's the set. It's a picture. It's a 2D picture.
It sucks. Yeah,
sucks.
It doesn't hold up at all.
And there's a great scene in Voyager where they start crawling right from the edge of the set, and right behind them, you can see the shadows are wrong, but then they start going. It's fine, but it's like that. But yeah, this I think is one we'd both appreciate more if we did a review on it. Appreciate all the subtlety and the cleverness.
Yes.
But I think it's just gentle and nice, but doesn't have much to kind of elevate it too much.
Yeah.
Like into special. But the average in this season is so strong that it is an average episode. But the average is so strong. Like, gosh, if this had been a season 1 episode, it'd probably be an S. You know what I mean? Because it's just such a well-told little cute story. Because the filmmaking is so strong. Yeah.
Matthew Lebner, $5. Second chances with Riker's duplicates. Is it a B or a C?
Or is it no bloody B, C, D, or F? Where's that one?
Right here.
No.
I see.
In my folder.
Yeah, this one is an interesting one. I really enjoy watching this one because I think the same thing. Like, how would I deal with myself? And would I be jealous of the life I could have had? And yeah, it's an interesting one. The effect that, or just the whole scientific premise of the transporter being deflected, so they got him back and yet they didn't get him back at the same time, I think is a very interesting sci-fi concept. I love that Thomas Riker does appear later. Spoilers.
Should have appeared another time to kind of close out the arc, because it's a damn dark, very Riker way of ending it.
Yeah, but no, it's a really good episode that deals with a lot of interpersonal stuff again with Troy, where Thomas Riker and Troy are kind of falling back in love, because that's what kept him going. And you got to imagine yourself being trapped on like a deserted island, thinking, "Oh, when I only get back to so and so," and then to have that happen. But it's a different person now. It's just, I think it's so intricately done. I love watching this one because it really makes me think how I would deal with these situations, being both sides of that. So,
This is an actor's episode, because not only are you, because you're not acting younger, but you're acting your same character frozen at a different point, where he has not learned the lessons, where he's held on to, as you say, the feelings of who he was. He's held on to them to stay sane, and that's kept him in a more youthful way. in a way in love with Deanna versus all the gravitas of Riker, and you watch this and they are not acted at all the same. It is shocking how just change the colour of his uniform, bit of a different performance, and he's so different. And that's all Frakes, right? He's owning this. Love seeing him in gold. Makes you think he was an engineer / security before this, I guess. Weird, but I mean that's the thing. Most people don't start command track. They do something else, then go command track. That's why Geordie can be captain in Challenger in the episode, because it makes right. But it's so fun to see that, and he's a way of making you not realize who's who, because they could have shaved his beard, given him a goatee like they did in a later episode, but just have him different colour. The audience is not wondering who's who, right? Really easy. Yeah, the love story with him and Troy is really like, you know, they were wanting this for years. Every year, they were like, every scene where it could make sense, they added that. And here they get to explore it without consequences. Except for Troy, of course, because she's sort of scarred from it a little bit. Like, damn, I fell back in love with him like that? Shit.
Yeah.
And it shows he changed. Because I'm ready for it again. I'm going. I'm, you know. So it's heartbreaking in its own way. Many own ways.
It's a tough situation. And I don't know about anybody else, but when I watch it, I think about all the ramifications for me if this was me. And that's the point of the episode. Would I be jealous and pissed off at myself? Because it's you while not being you, you know? So, I don't know.
Well, and as they say, it's not a clone. The system did what it was meant to do. It saved both patterns. So here's 100% you. You're not split. You both are beamed at the same time. It's not bullshit. You both
Your experiences from that moment on are different.
Yeah.
And that's what, you know, I remember Thomas Riker getting pissed at our Prime Riker for turning down commands. It's like, why would you do that? I would never have done that. Well, you don't know, because you didn't live this life.
Yeah, you did do it. If you were me, I was me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a super mature episode. I gotta watch it again. I haven't seen it. I remember loving it, but I haven't watched it in a long time. Yeah. But yeah, just the simplicity of it. Let's go back to a colony. There's another Riker, and all the drama comes from that. It's really, really interesting, and it's made better from DS9, but sadder. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna go bold and say A. I think it's so damn well done for its concept.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
And Frakes doesn't get a lot of dedicated episodes, but this is such a good acting thing for him. Yeah.
He did this season. He's got another one.
Oh yeah, well yeah, he's got two. But everything we've looked at so far, he's not really in it that much. Like, not super much. Some, but a lot of this he hasn't really been as much.
This makes up for his whiny little bitch mood when he was in Chain of Command.
Well, he just maybe as after he met himself, right? Next week, he's like, oh god, the other me. Yeah, when was this in compared to that? Yeah, it was after. No. Oh, I'm missing something. Still May left, guys. Still a bit of time. Throw them in.
All right. Classic for real, $10 is Man of the People F tier. Obligatory Rick Berman writes a Troy episode. If you know, you know. Also, the other Q episode that actually has Q in the title. So,
Man
of the People. Man of the People.
It's got to be the Troy one, hasn't it, based on that context?
Yes. That'll be this one.
Oh, episode 3. Yeah. So yeah, basically Troy, this ambassador guy, I assume, and she falls for him slightly, and turns out he siphons energy from. He needs his muse, he needs his mum, he needs his power source, and so he finds ladies on planets and they help him. He doesn't necessarily think he's doing a bad thing because it's for the greater good, and then the episode turns into the mum. But it goes through a sex phase, and then a creepy phase, and then a dying phase, and it's actually a pretty interesting concept. It's her best of these creepy fuck you episodes, I think.
And this was the one I was talking about with the new look, with the gray hair, the gray streak in her hair, nice dress.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
definitely acting out of character.
Yeah, this does the best, I think, because she gets to have a bit more personality. Of course, it's not a personality, but it's a pretty interesting acting episode. And the guy, I think, plays it. The guy in the thumbnail, I think he plays it better. He's kind of because he's not doing it for bad reason, and he's not necessarily fully cognizant. But it's I've saved millions of lives, and these women offer themselves willingly. I'm just saying yes. He's just not telling them the truth. He's not telling them not truth. And at the end, he tricks them by needing, we killed Deanna on purpose so that she dies, that he loses connection. He has to grab his assistant and say, "You'll help me, won't you?" And then it's quite a clever ending.
Yeah. For me, it's probably a D, though.
Oh, really?
Because it's not super memorable outside of Deanna's new look, for me anyway.
I think it's I'd say a low C, because I think it's the acting's really good. For as silly as the script is, I think the performances and the development of it, like, it's got an interesting pace, and I think it gets past D, because D is like less memorable.
Okay.
This, I think, is more memorable, because Troy's having a good time in this. Marina.
Yeah.
She's playing some fun.
Definitely not an F.
No. Oh no.
All right, and the next one was
Q,
episode.
which I barely remember.
Which one is it?
The girl in the pink
True
outfit,
Q.
who's the Q's daughter, not his daughter,
yeah.
a Q daughter. He realizes she's a Q, and then Q comes to Q her, and then they leave, I guess. Is that the summary? Is that the plot? That's all I remember. Oh yeah, she fancies Riker and she makes him creepy and fun, but not.
Yeah, I don't remember much of this one either. I remember them standing on the hull of the Enterprise, because that's like the picture we got. But
and it's a great idea, if I'm right. There's an accidental Q-birthed person. Oops, powers have been repressed until a certain age. Boom, now she's a Q, and it's interesting. But this isn't quite.
Scrolling through it, I don't remember much of this. Ooh, okay, that's bad. I don't know.
I don't think she was the right choice for this. I remember thinking she's sympathetic, but she hasn't got enough pop to the performance. It makes sense, but I think a more charismatic actress would have helped. Because if she wasn't wearing giant pink leotard look, I wouldn't remember her at all, right? At least for me, anyway.
Yeah.
And it's so weird to see John Lance in a side role where he's just sort of like helping her casually and not there for them. It's kind of fun, actually, to see him like not active that much in the story. Yeah. Oh, and Troy's
changes Beverly into a dog.
Yeah. And I'm scrolling, and Troy's awful hair, that weird haircut she had that looks so bad on her. But Darcy's fun. I'm going to say a D. I think this is not particularly great. Could have been an S with a lot of differences. It's like the Suicide Voyager one. That's a really strong episode for other reasons. That's another side Q concept.
Yeah.
What do you guys think? That could be a bit harsh, but what do you guys think? Because it should be memorable, right? There's only like 8 Q episodes. It should be memorable.
It should be, yeah.
Yeah.
So we have 9 episodes left. We've got...
Yeah, let's end the poll. Wait for you guys to... Because, we're steering clear Fs currently. But there's a few more to go. So we asked the question, what do you think of Relics, the Scotty one? 69% says amazing, classic, they love it. 30% say decent, okay. And we finally got a 1% do not like it. I was hoping for a 0%, which is kind of hard to get. But someone in the poll, someone in the chat, had to be that one person. Now, if you feel brave enough to put your hand above the parapet and say, that's me, because only one of you had done that. Probably. Interesting.
So the episodes we haven't looked at yet. Realm of Fear. Schisms. Fistful of Datas.
Yep.
The Quality of Life. Ship in a Bottle. Lessons. Frame of Mind. Suspicions, which I don't remember. And Descent, Part 1. Is right. And Starship Mine.
What do you think of the list so far and the gradings? Because that's a pretty strong list.
It is, yeah. Pretty on par with season 5 as far as quality goes. Even the bad episodes aren't bad, really.
I don't think anything in D is even close to F. I don't think.
No. Just for forgettability. Like Aquel, it's like, okay, there's some really great visuals in that, but that's all I remember.
So they might go to C in rewatching them, but yeah. Yeah.
I'm not surprised, really. Like, I mean, we came out strong with 2 S's right off the top, so.
And then an A, and then a. Yeah, it's definitely a very bold season. Like, big.
Yeah, they're taking more risks. There are more chances with storytelling and going darker as well.
And mostly paying off because, I mean, plenty of B's and some good A's. But I like the fact that they're almost all using the canon to have their bold plays. These aren't, we've gone past, which, maybe you could argue is not a good thing, going past season 1, we've gone to a planet and helping an alien race that we'll never see again. Right? For the most part, everything here, a lot of that, like, more interesting character and big universe stuff, which helps Star Trek, right? To use the universe to build. It helps.
Yeah.
But I think final 10 minutes we can lower to $3. $3 or $2.99 is fine. We'd love to quick fire all the rest of them. So throw them in. Help us out, as you guys know. And we'll...
Yeah. Classic for real, $5. Okay, Fistful of Datas. Love it because it's silly, 3D rendered bullet firing steam phaser from the Phaser Live.
What?
I don't know.
Steam firing?
Yeah, Fistful of Datas is a fun one. I love how this one starts off with like everybody's kind of taking their time off. Card keeps getting interrupted in his office, trying to his recorders, trying to play the flute. Worf comes in. It's like, do you have any jobs for me? Because I could do this, I could do that, I could do this, I could do that, I could do this. It's like, no, Mr. Worf, take some time off.
Be a parent.
Walk back to his quarters. It's like, so what did he say? I'm free, essentially. Good, you can be my deputy. We're going to the ancient West. Oh, it's the ancient West because it's so long ago. And then, of course, we get the computer glitch that because they're trying to do something in engineering with Data's brain.
I think it's just a maintenance.
Use it as a backup for the computer in an emergency.
Yeah, it's something pretty bog standard. It's nothing special.
Yeah.
That's why it's such a surprise.
And it affects the computer with all Data's everything. Like the play that Beverly's working on, the script is like his poetry and his different cat formulas that he's working on. And of course the holodeck, all the holodeck characters start becoming Data. It's a fun episode, honestly. Yeah. Deanna has a big part. Deanna's got a lot of good episodes in this season.
Good.
Yeah, I know, right? This is a fun episode.
Yeah, it's oddly memorable and unmemorable at the same time. Because when you skim, it's like, oh yeah, that. It all comes flooding back. But I was trying to summarize it in my head at the start, and I was just the iconic end bit with all the datas. But now I'm like, oh yeah, they got replaced, and like, which is interesting as a testimony to maybe the overshadowing of the visual of the idea. I don't know.
And it's setting up for a sequel because at the end, Alexander's laying there looking super fucking uncomfortable, and it's like,
Oh,
Maybe we'll have a chance to revisit the town. And he puts the hat on. It's like, yeah, he enjoyed himself.
Yeah, fair. No, it's fun. I mean, I actually love the intro with Picard. That's a really, really fun bit. Alexander gets something, and it feels organic. He's not as much of a brat. That's great. Obviously, went to some park. Didn't build this, right? That's obviously some location, which is great. You use what you've got, and this is new, and it's fresh, and good guest cast. I love Geordie's half beard again, because again, he just turned up, I'm sure, said, F it. Nope. Yeah, I mean, it looks reasonably expensive. It doesn't feel like a set. It feels like, it feels like a movie set, like a. And yeah, Troy coming in is a really nice touch, which also does start to tie Deanna and Worf in more together, which is them setting up all good things. Which,
Uh-huh.
And I really do like the, for whatever reason, the scene between Data and his son, Data. Sarah Pa.
Oh, yeah.
That's a really good little scene because, Brent's obviously amazing and he's having fun because he is still Data. Like, the abilities of Data all come through, as they say. That's why he's hard. Like, we can't just take him out because he's still, the computer thinks he's Data with a personality difference. And again, bloody hell, seamless two Brents. They're not even not trying. Yeah.
Hold on 1 second.
Sure thing. And it's a good twist. It's just a gentle, we messed up the computer, oops, accidental, and then use the force field's good, clever, simple. Yeah, I'm sure they had a lot of fun. A lot of fun with this. Yeah. And the joke Data at the end, the lady, the really good gag. Yeah, all round fun. I don't know why it's not as memorable as it could have been. The concept is, like I said, the execution might not be as much, but as I'm scrolling, it's all good stuff. Why do you think it might not be as memorable?
All good things?
No, but it does have to come. It does come to an end though. Would you agree it's not quite as memorable as it should be? I'm not sure why. If you feel the same, do you know why?
No, I'm like you in that regard because I just think of the multiple datas in the holodeck and I forget the setup to get there until I think about it, and it's like, oh yeah. And even that, this is one I watched recently. That's why I remembered that they were experimenting with using data as a backup systems for controlling the Enterprise in an emergency. Yeah. It's something's lacking a little bit from it, but it's a really fun episode.
Yeah.
They always are, the holodeck ones. So, for me, it's probably a C, sadly. As memorable as Brent is in it.
Hey, Brent, you said it right this time. Well done.
I know. Shut the fuck up.
Like 5 weeks in a row. Yeah, I'm like, is it B or C? Because it's again a really special punt, and the pieces. It's like, okay, see if you'll agree. It's weaker than the sum of its parts.
Yes.
Because the parts are all quite strong, and yet.
It's a good Alexander episode.
It's a great Alexander episode.
If we were judging Alexander episode, yes.
And good Troy, and good Worf, and good Brent. Yeah, I feel okay. I'll agree very high C, but I feel like if everyone votes now, if we get tired of B's, we should put it to B. Low B, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
I think yeah. Yeah. So vote now. So stick at C, and then C. That'd be an interesting rewatch. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Classic for Real throws in $21. How many episodes does 21 buy? All of them? No, it buys 4, and then we have 4 left.
Oh, math. You mathed? You math now? Because I said down to $3.
Oh, well then, if you're going to do that, then yes, all of them.
Okay.
Barry F, $2. Why is time 0 a D? I'm offended. Then be offended.
And then?
$3. Not offended, just disappointed. Oh, now I'm sad because
that's worse.
I can be fine with you being offended. It's just disappointed. Now I'm sad.
Well, Barry, had you combined those and used your word count, you could have forced us to make it higher. So Barry, if you'd like it to be higher, you know the rules. You can override our decision making with on the 5. Because if you love it, then that's absolutely valid. This is our ranking based on discussion debate. Why do you like it? What do we have currently? Oh yeah.
It's only part 2. We did part 1 yesterday.
Which I think was higher. I think that was...
Yes, part 1's a little bit higher. It's a little bit better.
Yeah.
So let us know, Barry, in the regular chat if you want to just combine those to bump it up a tier. We can do that.
Yeah.
All right. So
classics are rendered. Oh, it's a CG revolver. Oh, I didn't realize that. I thought they just. Okay, it was a stunt. Ah, that's very good CG.
All right, so let's just fire through these now.
Excellent.
Move those to the back. All right, we've got Schisms. Click, 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 click. Fantastic horror episode. Creepy sounds, creepy visuals.
That's pretty good.
People not sleeping, people having their arms cut off, amputated, put back on. The holodeck scene, building the tables, fantastic. Love seeing that use. Yeah, I love seeing that use of the holodeck. Like, that's what it should be used for more often. And no real resolution. Like, just, we stopped them from affecting the Enterprise, but how many other people are they doing this to? Are they going to come back?
We live.
Where are
That's
they
the
from?
victory.
They're from another dimension, yeah. So, yeah, this one for me is... probably an A.
Because I'm scrolling and I'm watching and nothing's happening. Because, you know what I mean? It's the character build until you get those bits.
Yeah, people are tired and looking rough around the edges.
I think it sounds silly because he's second in command. The bravery of Riker to do what he did, the way he did it, like, is strong.
Yeah.
And the way they shot the other stuff. Yeah, I guess low A, because I think a bit stays with you.
I was just going to say an A, solid A, but I'm fine with low A.
I'd have to re-watch it.
Yeah, this is one that's sufficiently creepy and has some interesting use of the holodeck, like I said, and solving the mystery is quite an interesting ride, because we learn that people's arms have been amputated.
Yeah. And so well, they'll never know.
Yeah.
There's a hell of a nice shot the Enterprise D at the end where it passes underneath. That's like shit. That is a nice 4 foot with incredibly big plate details. Model shot. That's great. Wow.
We will bump up ×0 because Classic Reel is insisting.
We don't know the rules, but we do. Ah, yes, Troy's Table Harrigan. Okay, cool. I like it.
Next up, we got Starship Mine. Die Hard in Space. Boreon sweep of the Enterprise. You have to evacuate the ship. And then we get these people on the Enterprise that are... I forget what they're doing.
Stealing resources for engineering or something. They're just thieves. It is very Die Hard in that frame, I believe. It's not particularly complicated. Which is this again? Called
Starship Mine.
All right, there you go.
And love that the Baryon sweep is going on. Everybody else is down on the planet. There's this really annoying guy that they have to like avoid conversations with, so they throw him and Data together because he just talks everybody's ears off. And Picard's like trying to get away from him, so he's like, if only there was something else to do. Like, there's riding trails up in the mountain. You horses? What? I'm gonna go to my saddle. So he goes back to the ship, and that's why he's there. And then the people on the planet are also held hostage. It's part of this whole thing. They're trying to steal something from the warp core.
Yeah.
Is it? I can't remember what specifically, but I like the Baryon sweep idea. And at the very end, he's like pushed up against the window and 10 forward, and it's like, and yes, Tim Russ is in it. He plays a bad guy, which is a shame. And yeah, Picard turns the crew, the terrorists against each other, and takes them out.
That lady is a very on-T disruptor, guys. They're super rare, only 3 in the universe.
God, no.
So close.
Fun episode. For me, it's probably a B. Maybe a low B, but a B.
So my issue with this episode is that it shouldn't have been Picard.
Shouldn't have been.
Because he's too old and non-action-y.
Well, they're getting him built up for when they do movies, and he's going to be an action star.
Yeah, I know. Like, it makes sense, but but he's not First Contact Picard. He just feels like, even putting him in a civilian costume, like he's doing it cleverly, fine. But part of why Die Hard works because he's an everyman with some skills. Picard is an extra man who's known for being non-military. I don't know who I'd reverse this with, but I many other people have seen verses. Not Riker, he's too obvious. Maybe Geordi would have been interesting, but we wouldn't too technical. I just think he's I get why he's a hero, but it just doesn't work with him.
Should have been Data.
I mean, that would have been. And it also reminds me of Gambit. Like, again, it's like it doesn't really work. But I actually really.
Where do you want to put it?
I mean,
really?
Well, I'm
fine. We're at the end, so I just gotta like.
I like the comedy stuff, but I just don't. I mean, it's good to see the ship not powered, but I don't know. Bs feel like a higher B than this, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh.
Descent Part 1.
Oh, part 1's better. Oh God. Stephen
Great
Hawking.
Scene. Yeah, great Stephen Hawking and Albert Einstein scene.
The ship's cool. The fight with the Borg is cool. They're shooting. Hell of a good first watch.
Data getting mad and breaking a Borg's neck,
which is really quite excellent. Nechayev again. That's
some
cool.
Actual on-site filming. That was funky building.
Him having to holographically brutalize a Borg to see if he can trigger it again. No, he can't. Really clever scene.
Yeah.
And then capturing, and then they get a prisoner, and he's creepy but kind of cool.
And then Laura's back, baby. That's how it ends.
Okay, abstractly, it's a good episode.
Yes.
Thank you. But it falls down so hard. I don't think... Oh, Phase Ruffles end. I don't think we can give it because it could be cool points. Because and also we shouldn't remove points if it wasn't cool. Because it is interesting. And it is well acted.
Yes. It's better than Part 2.
Much better. What do you think? Because I bet...
Nechayev's in it too. Like, that's cool.
Because conceptually, this could have been astoundingly good. Then they made Part 2.
Wow. I don't know.
Like, B feels icky.
It does.
But I'm enjoying most of what I'm seeing. And Data getting sort of just emotioned like a drug is really interesting. But C feels a bit harsh for how interesting this is. But B feels icky.
Low B. Still feels icky.
Yeah. But the next one will be an easy score. Maybe.
Sure.
All right.
Nope. No B for Starship Mine. C tier. 3 more to make sure Starship Mine gets down tiered. It's in C.
Ha ha! That's what you wanted.
All right. Next up, we got this Transporter Psychosis episode.
I always like the idea of this.
I love seeing beaming, like from the point of view of the person. That's really cool.
Which one's this one called?
This one is Realm of Fear.
Which makes sense.
Yeah. But Barclay swears he saw something in the transporter beam. Nobody believes him, of course, because it's Barclay. And he starts to phase. He's got like his arm does a tingly like transporter thing. So he thinks he's going crazy, but at the same time knows he's not. He's trying to convince everybody else.
Yeah. But you can understand everyone doesn't believe him because he's obviously still there, still being weird, still saying things that do probably make sense, but not. I love the fact that the reason the Janolan transporter room, the classic sort of TOS mixed one, but it's probably the entire Janolan set as well. I don't remember anything else about it except the payoff and the fact that Barclay's really good in it. But it's such a texturally interesting thing.
They're like microbes that were in some kind of realm that when they're transported, they seem like huge fucking worms.
Yeah.
Like
which is kind of right. It's kind of creepy and scary, and he grabs one out, and it turns out it's like the crew of the place because they escaped,
Yes.
and it's like, what? Are you joking? And so the fact that he's so brave to face that horrendous fear, and again, it's really, I mean, it's a damn good him episode, and I feel like he does fix a lot of his fears at the end of this. That teaches him something pretty profound.
I want to say B for Barkley.
Low B.
Yeah, low B, but it's still B.
It's very clever. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I wish we had more conventions. I'd like to meet the chap.
We only got 4 more episodes.
Ooh. Oh, S.
Gotta kind of power through. Yeah, S.
I mean, S for acting. I mean, it's so fucking committed to the bit, and it's meta, and it's inside itself, and there's a play, and he's excellent in it. I think the story's an A because it's not that deep, but the S for performance and the feeling it gives you, I think it's such a unique one. But it's not as dark as the torture one, you know? It's so interesting and clever, and
yeah, it bugs me immensely because it's like I would be thinking I was insane at this point. Because, and I love the way it ends up with like Beverly showing up and he's like, "You're not real." Yeah,
because you don't know. They absolutely play it well. I always forget that he's just in a table, because every layer on every layer is fake. I will say it's probably a high for lots of people, but I think low S for us. I think it's just such a clever performance piece, and it stands out so well.
Yeah, not one of my favorite episodes to watch, but hey, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right, next up we got
Peanut Hamper's parents.
Peanut Hamper. Oh, Peanut Hamper's parents.
I mean, they are. Yeah.
What's this, quality of life? Or
no.
This is, I think it is. Yeah, well, the quality of life.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
Another beard episode for Jordy.
I remember the premise, and now I remember the station because it was in Lower Decks. But that's kind of it.
Yeah, I don't remember.
All the minutia. It's a great idea, though. They invent a very small, very clever robot, and it sentiences itself slightly, and then where's the line between sentience and sentience? And of course, Data's the one that would obviously say, I mean, it chose to do this and this, and I was sentient. I just because it's a tricorder with a brain, and it lets them help and evolve, and then eventually join Starfleet.
Yeah. I don't remember a lot of this one. It gave birth to Peanut Hamper, so I'm going to give it a D.
Yeah, I think it's not as strong as it could have been, but I think we'd enjoy a rewatch.
Probably.
I think it's a high D. Great idea. And it's a good time for an alien box.
Sure.
He has any beard episodes this season. Does old.
We got this one, which I think is Suspicions.
Yeah. Of course, there are Ferengi scientists. And all scientists. I only remember it for the end, which is he's not really dead. He's in the shuttle. So the guy dies.
Oh, yeah, this is the sun experiment thing with
which then becomes in Descent. It's Chrono Shields, whatever. I mean, it's a good Beverly episode, and it's a good mystery, and there's a good cast of characters, but it never reaches heights ever.
Yeah, I'm scrolling through, and I can't say as I remember much of it.
Yeah, so they invent special sun shielding for season Descent.
I remember
and it
that.
fails, and they kill the guy. Doesn't really die. Someone's a reason, whatever. And then she risks her own life to prove the experiment works, proving there's something else going on. He's just in the shuttle. It's like, what? Oh, okay, cool. Twist. What? I mean, slow C. Because there's a good Beverly episode and there's a good shuttle. Maybe D. I don't know.
I think D.
But you normally like things like a Ferengi scientist. You know, that's cool, right? You know.
I thought you just like paint me with a brush. You don't like this, so of course it's gonna. It's fine. It's fine. It's fair.
Yeah. Oh, Guns in it too.
I could put it up to C if you want.
No, I think it's yeah. Yeah.
It's super unmemorable. Sylvia always has to remind me what this one's about. It's the son, the guy alive at the end on the shuttle, and it's like, oh yes, I remember that part. What's the lead up to that?
He's
I
scientist.
thought he was dead.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good idea. She's good in it. Doesn't quite have the grit. Ah yes. Finally, he's back. Jesus.
Ship in a bottle.
Took you long enough, guys.
It's the last one too.
Now, what's the actual story?
I can't recall. Let me scroll.
Oh yes, he takes over the Enterprise and he tricks them. He beams them into the holodeck.
They're
and
in
he
a
fakes...
holodeck, yeah.
So the twist, the audience, he can now walk around. He's sentient, but really they're on a holodeck, which is very clever. And they invent this lady, and all of it is just trick them into working out how to take him out of the holodeck for real. But it's impossible.
Yes.
So
yes,
they have to trick him, that he's tricked them, to fake out. Yeah.
and put him in a holographic cube on somebody's desk and never remember that he's there.
But he doesn't know.
Yes, him and the Countess go off thinking that they've...
Oh, guys. Stuart, there's a continuity error. They walk into a Type 6, the door closes, and then it's a TNG Season 3 shuttle because they use a model shot. Guys, the wrong shuttle!
Holy shit, it is too.
Guys, it's the wrong... And why is the shuttle green in this shot? It's bloody green. It's a white shuttle. Guys, he's just got... Don't be Discovery, be better. Even the footage looks worse. Like, even the shot looks worse. Aye. Now, this is obviously one of your best things of Moriarty.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I love the twists and turns this one takes.
Yeah.
I think this is probably a B.
I would agree. Yeah. It's definitely... It keeps a gentle pace.
But it deserved a good follow-up episode, which you never got.
Yeah. And this is a very bold approach to a follow-up. And it's very intelligent. But yeah, can need a third act. And what a bloody unsung guest star. I mean, this guy should have been the Q of the holodeck. Every 2 seasons, bring him back. I know they could legally, but like... Oh, I should be on DS9. Oh, and they could bring back on Voyager, right? Computer, recreate the Moriarty program from this. And he's similar, but not. Yeah. Very easy.
Alright, that's the end, guys. No more super chats. Aussies is the last one with $5. Crusher, Ghost Candle, Make It So. That's season 7, I guess.
Last season, yeah. Must be. Wow. So we ended with average, higher average. So Pills gave us the strong ones at the start, and we put in 6 back-to-back mediums. Oh, and 2 lows.
Yeah.
Interesting. How'd you feel?
Dirty.
This was difficult. This was difficult.
This was, because while there's some really good quality here, I feel bad for not remembering a lot of the minutia of these episodes, even though you can tell by scrolling through that they're good episodes.
And it can't be because we haven't reviewed them yet. For several of them, because you just watched them.
Yeah.
And if you just watched them, and therefore us reviewing together would not necessarily equate to being in a brain.
Yeah.
That's interesting. But this will be very interesting. Now we've got this as a fresh graph to see if we would agree with ourselves having done the reviews properly.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Yeah.
All right. Thanks so much, guys. Tune in this Saturday for our second D7 video on the Discovery D7 with brand new sexy renders. Huzzah, huzzah.
Yes. And of course, next week for the Vives. So
Season 7 and then TNG Season 1, which I'll be...
You mean DS9, not TNG.
Yes. With my incredibly confident remembering of Season 1.
Yeah, it's going to be rough, that one.
It's like,
all the DS9 is going to be rough. The way it is.
It's like, I'll remember the middle, and then we get to Season 7, it's like, alright, same story, it's just part 2. It's like, well, no. It's going to be interesting.
Yes. So tune in for that. Thank you guys for watching. Everybody super chatted. You are amazing.
And classic, you crazy bastard.
I love you guys. Until next time, he's Commander Calkins.
He's kind of Foley.
Nobody paid to put me in a uniform, and you could have. Bye.
Bye.